Hey everybody, it's Joe from Old Man Photography. Just wanted to welcome everybody back to the channel. Today is number 8 in a series of videos to help people and share what I've learned in photography. So today's video is going to be about gear. We're going to keep it basic, help you get a basic gear package together so when you're going to go out and do photography, you got everything you need. Down the road, I'm sure we'll be putting some other videos together that get more into depth about gear and stuff like that. All right, anyhow, let's get going. So, number one, the first thing I like to bring all the time and make sure I have is a cell phone. I always carry it with me. I always make sure it's charged, because what if I get out there and there's an emergency with myself or an emergency with somebody else around me? I can get help right away. I mean, safety is paramount when you're out in some of these places. The second thing is I like to use it sometimes to make videos of myself doing certain things, and I can share them with family and friends, or I can put them on social media. The big thing is make sure you're fully charged the night before. Don't get there and all of a sudden my phone died. So that's the first thing. The second thing I like to carry is a flashlight. It seems oh so simple, but you'd be amazed how many people don't have one. You get out there in the dark, you put your keys down, you put your phone down, you put a lens cap. It could be a number of things and you can't find them in the dark. So I always like to have a flashlight. I keep one in each camera bag. I keep an extra one or two in my van. The third thing I like to bring is a can of mace. I go to a lot of city places late at night. I'm going in the woods late at night. A lot of times I'm by myself. It never hurts. God forbid I ran into a bear. God forbid I ran into somebody that wanted to take my equipment. If I had to use it, hopefully it would work. It's also a real good thing for females to carry. It gives you a little level of safety. It's not everything, but it's better than nothing. The next thing I also like to bring, I don't keep in my camera bags, but I always keep a little extra clothing in one of my vehicles. It could be an extra coat, a sweatshirt, a hat like I'm wearing here. It could be a pair of gloves. You never know when the weather's going to change, or it starts raining, or you get muddy and you want to change and get cleaned up. So always keep a little bit of extra clothes in the vehicle. The other thing I like to bring and always have in one of my vehicles is bug spray. A number of nights, especially down the shore when I'm out at the ocean doing astrophotography, the flies, the mosquitoes, they're overwhelming. It just gets to be crazy. Even when I'm inland, sometimes in the woods, nothing worse than getting chewed up by bugs and everything. So I always bring a little bit of bug spray along with me. The next thing I also like to bring along is I always bring extra batteries for my camera, and fully charged, and I do this the night before. The reason is there's nothing like getting there, getting set up. You don't really remember the last time you used the camera, the battery's half full, you start taking some pictures, and then you get that sign we all get that the battery's exhausted, and the shooting's still beautiful. So I always like to carry a couple of extra batteries with me, fully charged. The other thing I also like to bring is I have a little container, and I always carry extra SD cards. You never know when you're going to fill one up. You get a message that says card is filled. Your shooting's over for the day. What if you have a situation where the card doesn't work? It just kind of misfires. So I always keep a couple extra cards in my bag. I also keep a couple extra in the van. That way I don't run into those problems. The next thing I like to bring along is I always, in every single bag, I always have a couple in my van, is I have what's called a microfiber lens cloth. I breathe on the lens, I clean it, I'm good to go again. When I was kind of starting my journey, never really paid attention to my lens. I'd come back and I'd be looking at the pictures, and they were horrible. There were spots here, spots there. I turn the camera and look at it and I'm like, oh, you got to be freaking kidding me. And yes, you can go into editing software and remove some of this stuff, but it's a ton of work. And if you just wipe the lens every time and you keep an eye on that, you never have to worry about the extra work. The other thing is I bring this little blower. You can get these on Amazon for usually $10-15. You change the lens, you can blow the sensor, you can blow the lens, get the dust, the dirt. Hopefully it's not sand, but if you did, you get sand off of it. I like to also use it around the camera. I can blow around the camera, keep it clean without starting to wipe things and scratch stuff. So This little blower is such a necessity. The next thing I like to bring is I keep in the bottom of my bag, I'm going to show you the bags in a minute, is I keep a rain bag. And in a previous video we talked about rain's never a great time to be out there, but if you find yourself out there and you're shooting something that you can't wait and you got to definitely do it, you could certainly do it. So what you do is you put the bag over the camera, the lens, and then you zip tie it, and then you can reach your hand in there and do it. The rain doesn't penetrate or get on the camera or ruin anything. So that works really well. The other thing I like to bring along is I always bring an extra lens or two. And we'll be making videos about lenses and what's the best lens to use. What type of lens should I be using? But today it's about simplicity. So I always like to bring an extra lens or two, just because if one's not working what I want it to do, or maybe the field of view is wider. I usually don't do more than 3 lenses, and I have a bag that'll keep that stuff in it, so that's that. Some of the extra things that, we're going to get into a second. We're going to talk about bags, things of that nature, but kind of I just forgot, and it was the last thing, and it's kind of important because I wanted to bring it up because this is what you cannot forget, and I just did, and I've done it in the field. Is you get all your gear together, and you want to always get your gear together the night before. You don't be getting up to go at 6 in the morning running around. Where's my camera? Where's my bag? Where's this? Where's that? Because by the time you get all that done, you're going to look out the window and the sun's already going to have been up and you're going to have missed it. Get everything together the night before. I like to do it early in the evening, and I like to throw my bag out into the vehicle, the truck, pickup, whatever I'm taking, and I allow it to kind of adjust to the temperature out there overnight. There's nothing worse than taking a warm camera out into a cold environment or a cold camera out into a warm environment. So I like to leave it out in the vehicle overnight. That way when I open it up, set it on the tripod, I'm ready to go. But as far as getting the gear the night before, I have literally done this. I wake up in the morning and in a haste, run out with the bag I prepared the night before, and I got there. And guess what? I forgot the freaking camera. I forgot the tripod. I had nothing with me. So make sure you've got your bag of gear as well as your camera you're going to use in the tripod. Some of the extra things I like to bring along is I will actually bring an extra camera. I usually keep an extra camera in the truck just in case I get there, the camera's not working. God forbid I dropped it and it broke or there was a problem with it. Now at least I can go ahead and do it. You got to remember, sometimes we're just not going to the end of the street. We're not going in the neighborhood. Maybe we're driving up to the Poconos 3 hours away. Maybe we're driving down to Cape May at the shore. It's an hour down there. Maybe we're going to Manhattan for the night. We could be 2+ hours. And you get there and your camera doesn't work or there's a problem. Really, that's not fun for anybody. Bring an extra camera. The other thing I like to do in all my vehicles, I keep a charger for the batteries that I normally use with my cameras. I get somewhere, I get to a friend's house, I'm going back and forth between houses, my batteries get low, they get run down, I can always got a charger to plug them in and recharge everything, so I'm good to go. Another little small thing I keep in one of my vehicles is I like to keep a little pair of trimmers. Little small pair, not big. You never know, you're setting up somewhere, you got the sun going down, you got the moon rising or something, and you got a stick in the way. You got some vines. You can get in there and do a little trimming and get exactly the picture that you want to get. So simple little things like that make all the difference in the world. The big thing I like to do is really focus on that night before thing. Don't wait an hour before you're ready to leave. Don't wait till you're getting ready to walk out the door and you're trying to find half your stuff. Because it's not going to happen. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get angry. You're going to get pissed off. A couple of days in that, you're not going to want to do this anymore. So be prepared. I mentioned earlier about part of being prepared is having bags and stuff. So this is a single bag camera. It's a company called Low Pro. I buy a lot of their stuff. I think they make by far the best bags. I think they're fairly affordable. And the stitching, the comfort, the zippers, they're second to none. So this is a single camera bag, holds one camera, and then it has a little pouch in the front. I can put an extra lens in there, a battery or two. It's got a little pocket on the inside. Put an extra battery, a couple of SD cards or whatever. I'm good to go. Put it around my waist, carry it over my shoulder. I'm good to go. 90% of the time, though, I'm out with another low pro bag. Now, this one's a little bit different. This has sort of a front area where, and again, we're going to get into gear and in depth in a lot more future videos, but you can put a tripod on this. It's got an opening thing here. I'll keep batteries. I keep a remote down in here. I can do remote. We'll talk about a remote and the value of that one day. And then it opens up here in the front, right above it, and I can keep an extra lens in there. It's got a front pouch. I'll keep some filters in there. And I turn it around, and they call this a sling. So it goes over my shoulder. It's not a backpack. I sometimes don't like the backpacks. I kind of feel like they're too constricted. But what's nice about this is it opens, and then you can literally, you got your camera in here. So I got the camera, and then I've got an extra lens. So in a sense right now, I've got 3 lenses and a camera and a bunch of all the little gear that I just gave you a list of. So it works extremely well that way. But anyhow, I don't want to take up too much of your time and go too far deep into this. I just wanted to give you an idea of some of the things that you probably should have when you're out in the field, as well as some things that I have learned over time that are helpful. The biggest lesson I can teach you, though, is be prepared and do it the night before. If you're going on a trip for a couple of days, you might want to do it 2 or 3 days beforehand. Double check it, triple check it. The night before, you might check it one more time and realize, oh, I forgot one thing, or I want to add something. So hopefully this has at least given you a start to get some basic things, get a little gear package together, and that way when you go out, you're ready to go. So I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button. I hope you subscribe. And I want to thank you very much. And please leave a comment. If you've got a tip or something that I've missed or you take out with you, I'd appreciate you sharing it. I could certainly learn from you. Thank you.